Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with me, and we are going to do a display mini album, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I show you all the pages. But it's a mini album, but you can also put it on display, and it has all of the pages and everything where someone can just walk in and see your photos. I am using, this is a new cardstock that we just got in, and it is from this is craft cardstock, and it's from Kaiser Craft, and this is almost like a very thin chipboard. I'm doing this because I want my pages to be very sturdy so that they will stand up nice. So I'm using this for the base, and then I'm going to cover my pages with this paper pad, and we have this in the shop as well. This is called Poet's Kitchen, and it's from Wild Rose Studio, and there are some absolutely beautiful papers in here. I have used a lot of them already, but I have quite a few left. This is a thinner paper, and that's why I'm putting it on this, because it will make it very, very sturdy. But isn't that pretty? Let's see if I can get some more. There we go. And then here's one I've already cut down. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So this is a very nice paper pack. This is a 6x6. So I'm trying my best just to use this paper pack and not cut into anything else other than my cardstock. So we'll see if that works. So far, so good. Alright, we're going to set that aside, and what you're going to need is you're going to need a piece that is cut, and I'm going to measure again just to make sure. This piece is cut 11 inches by 6 inches, and these are going to be your pages. So what you want to do is put it in your scoreboard, and you're going to score at 5 1/4. Now I'm going to go over this a couple of times because it is rather thick, and 5 3/4. That's going to be your scoring on there. So lay that aside. Go ahead and fold your pages and burnish. I love this cardstock. This will be good for making lots of projects. I just got the first shipment of it in today. I got some in just to see what it was going to be like, and it's very nice, so I will be ordering a lot more. Okay, that is one of your pages. As you can see, you have a 1/2 inch spine right here, and then you have the page like that. Now I have gone ahead, for the sake of the video, to keep it from being so long, I've gone ahead and made my other pages. I made 7 pages just because that's how thick I wanted my book to be. You could make as many of these pages as you wanted. You just have to increase the spine on your book. That's all you'd have to do. And as you can see, I put them like an accordion. So the spine is over here on this one. So on this one, I'm going to put the spine on this side. Just like that. And then this one, the spine will go here. So that will be how they go together. I've already put these together, so let's go ahead and put, here we go. Let's make sure I'm on the right side here. Let's go ahead and put this one on here, like this. Okay, so we're going to lay that out, and I'm going to put it right up there. I'm going to make sure that I've got it right side up, and that I'm putting everything together right. I'm going to use my art glitter glue because this holds very, very well. As I say each time I use it, I know you get tired of hearing me say that, but it's just the best glue that I've found. So you could use any type of glue, or your ATG tape, your double-sided tape, score tape, whatever on here. I just like to use this because it does give me a little bit of wiggle room. Now what you want to do is run that page right up near that score line on the other page. My score line is right here, so I'm running the end of that page right up to that score line. Not over it and not on it, but right up to it. And then I'm just going to press that down. I'm going to flip it over and then press it on this side and make sure that I have it down very good. And looks like it's okay. Alright, so there is that one, just like that. So we're going to, what I do to kind of keep myself straight is these are the pages that's going to be covered. So I'm going to put T there for the top. So this is the top of my album. And I'm going to put T here for the top. These two I know I'm going to cover. This one I'm not going to cover because it's going to glue to this other page. So I'm not going to put anything on there. I'm just going to make sure that I have it correct again. So this is going to go together just like this. So as you can see, all you're doing is alternating. So there's my spine on this one, my spine on this one's over here. So you're just alternating back and forth. So I'm going to go ahead and put my glue on here. Go ahead and put this one together. That way I have all my pages together and then I can just put the pattern paper on the rest of them. And yes, sometimes I have to stop and think on this, how to put this together just a little bit. I have to put it back down and then look at it again and go, okay, is that right or wrong? Just like I'm having to do now. Now when I cut these pages down, as I said, they were a 6 by 6, and I cut these down to 5 and 5 3/4. Now make sure that your pattern is running the right way. If I wanted my pattern up and down this way, so this is my 5 3/4. If you cut your book the same size that I did. And I told you how big these were, so, and then I'm going to make sure that I put these down somewhat near some kind of order here. So those would go there. This is going to have glue on it because it's going to glue to the back part of our middle part of our album, so I'm not going to cover that. But I do need to cover this one and this one. And I think that will work right there. Now when I cut these down to 5 inches or 5 3/4, I had these little slivers left, and I saved them because they're just the right size to slide right in here. There we go. They're just the right size to cover that little spine right there. They need to be 3/4 of an inch by 5 3/4. If you want to just cut some, 3/4 by 5 3/4. You can cut them a little bit more than 3/4. Some of mine are, but 3/4 works wonderful. Okay, let's go ahead and put these down. Here again, you can use your ATG tape. All right, so there is all of our pages and spines covered, making sure that I've got them all covered. So that's what it would look like from the end, and there's from that end. So we're going to set those aside and then get these up, because we don't need any more of these right now. So we'll put those aside. And now I needed a piece for my chipboard, because this is going to have a chipboard backing or a chipboard cover. So I needed a piece for my chipboard that was 18.5 inches, and of course this paper is just 12 inches long, so I pieced a piece together, and I've showed you how to do that in other videos, so I won't go over that again. But all I did is just put my score tape down through there and then lapped it over a 1/2 inch and put it together, then trimmed it off to 18.5 inches. Now these pieces, I'm going to tell you, you're going to need 5 of these in order to make your book do the fold that we need. So I'm going to tell you how big these need to be. Now you can use, you don't have to use this. This is a medium weight chipboard. You could use cereal boxes, whatever you would like to for the covers on these. This one is 3.5 by 6.5. Now all of them are going to be 6.5. This one is 2 inches by 6.5. The back, it is 5.5 by 6.5. This one is 2 inches. So you have 2 spines. And then this one is 3 inches by 6.5. So we've got them all 6.5. And then this and this will be our front covers that will kind of come and fold over like that. Alright, let's get to going on this. If you need these measurements again, I will put these on my blog. So go over there and check that out. I will try to have all of the measurements on there that I possibly can. What I'm doing now is I'm going to go ahead and draw me a line. And I think I left 1 inch. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I told you I cut this 18.5, but I also cut it 8.5. So this piece underneath is 18.5 by 8.5 inches. That leaves me 1 inch on the top and the bottom where I can fold over on these. So we're going to go ahead and make our line, and this line helps me make sure that I get all these pieces straight. I'm going to go ahead and draw one on the end. This will just give me that box to where I need to start at. Okay, so what I need to start is right there. Put a shot of this on my blog so that you can see all of these measurements. And now what we're going to do is put some score tape on here. Right in the corner of where we drew that line. Put it straight up and straight across. There's our first piece down. Now we want to leave quite a bit of space between these because we want this to fold nice and neat and not have any, you know, not want to gape open all the time. So what I'm going to do, if I can find my, there we go. Alright, we're going to use the end of our ruler, and then I may still want to put a little bit of something else between there. Let's see. You want it to be about almost 1/4 inch. So I think I can eyeball it and go from there. So that's what we're going to try to do. Okay, we have all of those pieces glued down to the cardstock. And now, as usual, what we're going to do is take our bone folder and we're going to go right down the edge of this to make it have a crease in it. Just makes it fold a lot easier when you break down those fibers. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the bend thing as well before I put my tape or anything on there. That's just going to help everything fold a lot better. And we're going to go ahead and run our bone folder down through the center of these. Ready to clip our corners, and I'm going to clip my corners just like I normally do. I'm going to go in just like that, and I think I'll change my scissors. Now we're ready to take the backing off and start folding. Now I start on the sides first. And I start in the center. And as I've shown you before, I take my bone folder, the big end of my bone folder, and I just work that up all the way down to make it fold better and easier. also prevents the cracking of any paper, which I don't think this paper is going to crack, but you never know. Just makes it a lot easier to fold it over. See, there you go. And we're going to do this side. And we're going to do the same thing with our bone folder. And I know you can't see this whole thing as I'm working because it's so long, but I'm trying to keep my hands in the shot anyway so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just running that bone folder along the edge and pressing it into that just to make that fold. Okay? Start in the center, fold it, and then work your way out. Alright, we're ready for the end pieces. Now here again, I take my little Kaisercraft tool that we have, and on the very ends I take it and I fold those in with that tool. And then I do my bone folder on it. And I fold it over. And see, that makes for some very nice edges, very nice corners. Okay, so we'll do the same thing down here. Take this little tool, press that, any extra paper that you have right there, just press it in with that, the end of that little tool. Then take your bone folder and just start rubbing it up and fold it over. Then I go around with my bone folder and I crease that edge again. That makes for that good, nice looking edge on your paper. Okay, so there is that all covered. I did make sure that where I joined my paper was in the center of the back. Alright, now what we're going to do is take our bone folder on the flat side and we're just going to run it back and forth, cover the inside. Now on this one I needed a piece, and I believe that it needed to be 16 inches. Let's just make sure. Yes, 16 inches. So in order to keep from having to go get more paper, what I did was I took 3 sheets of this paper and I glued them together just like we did on the backing. I just put my score tape on there, glued them together, because these are not going to all show at the same time. This is going to be the back part. This is going to be the actual back of the album. This is going to be the little front cover, and then this is going to be the other front cover. So they're not going to all be showing at the same time. This one's going to show very little because our pages are actually going to go down on there. So this is cut at This is cut at 6 inches by 16 inches. So 6 by 16. And we're going to go ahead, and I think I am just going to use ATG tape to put this down. And that looks pretty good, so we'll go ahead and press that down just like that. Right, so we have that covered. Now again, we need to go down all of those bends and make sure that we kind of break down those fibers. Okay, I have gone ahead and cut my pieces for the outside, and I have written on all of them what size. So I'm going to lay these back out, and I did take a photo of this, so I'll have that on my blog. Alright, so this one is 3 1/8 by 6. This one is 1 3/4 by 6. This one is 5 1/8 by 6. This one is 1 3/4 by 6. 2 3/4 by 6. So this is going to be the way the outside is going to look, and I did go ahead and put my magnets down. Now I marked on here, I folded my book over and I drew me a line as to where the front pieces were going to lap over, so that I would know exactly where to put my magnets and that kind of thing, and that I wouldn't get it too big or too large on one side and the other. So that's the way I'm going to put these down. And I did go ahead and ink around the edges with Vintage Photo. Okay, we have all of those pieces on, and when it closes, it looks like that. I think that's beautiful. I love it. Okay, I did forget to put these under the paper, but no problem. What I am going to do is I'm going to take some of this scrap paper, and I'm going to try to match it up with that. I'm not going to be able to match it, but I will get close. I'm going to take my little tiny hole punch. This is just exactly the size of those magnets, and then I'm just going to cover the magnets up with this. I think we're ready for our pages, to put our pages in. Now this piece that we left uncovered on the back, that's the one that's going to sit right here in between these two little bins in the paper. Couldn't figure out what they were called there for a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up as much as I can, and then I am going to lay that down and try my best. I should be able to. That looks good right there. I'll make sure. Yeah, I think that looks good. So what I'm going to do is run, let's see. Yeah, what I'm going to do is run a bunch of glue on the back of here and put this down while I'm holding it so that I won't move it out of place. I found it's a lot easier to do it this way than try to find the place to put it again after you get the glue on there. And I am putting a lot of glue. I want to make sure that it stays in place. Okay, then all I'm going to do is just lay it down right there. Try not to move it too much. There we go. Okay, so we are finished with the album. And my battery died, so I had to kind of cut it off, but I think the last that I was doing is I put these pages in, and I showed how to do that. I covered my little magnets that I forgot to put under my paper, and then the magnets are here, the other side of them, and that is it. It is covered. Now I do want to do a little something on the front, but this is how you can display this album. You can sit it up, and then these pages can come out, and I know you can't really see how that's sitting up, but if you sit it up on the table, then these pages can come out and people can just kind of go through them and look at your pictures on there. And then when you get ready to close it back up, you just simply close it back together. Super easy, quick. I love it. Very cute album. Will hold lots of pictures. Okay, I'm going to decorate the front just a little bit. I had this flower in my stash, and it was a little bit yellowish, and I just took some of the Vintage Photo and I put gobs and gobs of Vintage Photo on there and just kind of colored the petals to make it look more like the front of this. I did the same thing with this leaf. I put a little bit of vintage photo around that, and it just, what it does is just makes that leaf pop, as I've said before, and then it will make it a little bit more the color of my book cover as well. So I'm going to do this one the same way, and I get ink all over me when I do this. Don't know if y'all do or not. Alright, so I'm going to put those down just like that because I want my flower to sit on top of them. I didn't have any smaller leaves or I would have used those, so I'm just going to use the big ones, but I'm going to kind of manipulate them a little bit so that they will look small. And I'm going to use some hot glue just because I'm impatient and I don't want to wait for anything to dry. So I'm going to put that right there, and I'm going to let it stick up just a little bit. And then I'm going to put this one down here, and I'm going to let that one do that. And then my flower's going to go right there. But first I want to put this down, and I want to put that right up and under there because I want this covered. I want the clock to stay, but I want that covered. And I'm going to try it with some hot glue. We'll see if it stays. If it doesn't, I will use some E6000 on there. If it doesn't, I don't know why I said that. I'm not that bad country. Okay, and then we're just going to pile up quite a bit of glue in the center of that just so it will kind of stick up off of that just a little bit. Give it a little bit of dimension. I'm not going to press it down too hard. Okay, and now I cut this out of a piece of, this is the paper that I showed last week. It was on that Couture Creations. This is from last month's kit. And I just cut this out, and as you can see, it was kind of pink. But what I did was I took my vintage photo and I colored it so it makes it look a little bit more brown. Then I took my tool that I love and I just curled it just a little bit. And I'm going to put that just like that. So all I want to do is put a little glue on this side and then some right on the tip of that. And I want to put that up under there and that right there. So we'll press that one down. And if you get a few little glue pieces that are sticking out that you want to get off, here again, use your tool. See how it just pulls those right off? And if you just kind of twist it just a little bit, it will roll those right off of there. I'm telling you, I use this tool for everything. Now I have a few wood pieces, and I want to use these, but I don't want to take the time to paint them or whatever, so I am going to use, again, my vintage photo. I'm just going to lay them down and color them up. You could use embossing powder, you could use paint, you could use a lot of different things to color these, but I am good with this. I like this. See how it made that look? I'm going to use some stickles, and this is diamond stickles, and I am going to put quite a bit of stickles in here on these. I don't like those little bead things that are in the middle of those flowers, so we're going to kind of cover them over with some stickles. Can you see that? How absolutely pretty. Let me zoom in, because when I hold that up, it seems to lose something. There we go. Sorry about me shaking the camera. I bumped it. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. Alright, that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope you will give it a try. And don't forget that all of these measurements will be over on my blog. I will try to get those up before this video goes up. And I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Thank all of you for subscribing. Don't forget we have our 5,000 subscriber giveaway that will be coming up in very shortly. We're just a little over 100 subscribers away, and there is lots and lots of gifts to be had. Alright, we will talk to you later. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Bye-bye.